What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at Endless Legend 2, which is currently getting ready to release into early access. Today, we here at the Nerd Castle, we've been given the opportunity to take a look at a preview build, and I being a fan of just about everything in the Endless universe, especially Endless Dungeon, which is one of those games that, like, I no-lifed super hard, I am interested in seeing what the newest entry looks like. I don't know if we'll be doing a ton of first impressions today. I think my intent is just to play the game and have a good time with it. I don't know, I'm trying to relax, man, keep my anxiety levels nice and low when it comes to this day-to-day video turnaround. And so when I come across a game that I'm actually excited to check out, sometimes I don't actually want to take the wrench to it and start digging into it and figuring out what's good and what's bad. I kind of just want to let the game do its thing and speak to all of you and myself included. So I may have some light impressions commentary for you on this game, but today we're going to be playing for 30 minutes or so. We're going to take a look at this preview build. We're going to see if it's a good time. They did have a splash video at the beginning of this when it opened up with like a developer roundtable that you couldn't skip. It sounds like the game as a 4X strategy game has some very, very interesting ideas and things that it's trying to implement in order to build upon its already well thought of predecessor. And so let's crack right on into it. If after watching this you wanted to get the game for yourself, I got a link for you down below in the description. You can check that out there. Of course, you can also find a bunch of other Nerd Castle links down there just in case you wanted to support the channel or slide through the Discord or any of that other fun stuff. But let's hit it hard. Let's start a new game and see what the game's gonna do for us. So right now, we've got a couple of different factions that we can play around with. These are by no means all of the factions that are gonna be inside of the game. For right now, inside the preview, they only gave us access to 2 factions. So we've got the Kin of Sheridan, who came from the stars and have been struggling to tame the world since their original leader was lost. And then we also have the Aspects, an unlikely symbiosis of organic and artificial. The Aspects are a peaceful collective that seek harmony. I was hoping we would have a faction here that was sort of like the Imperium, that was just like all about war and throwing down and invading your enemy's lands and doing adventures and stuff, but like, we'll take this for now. I'll go with that icon's perfectly fine to me. All these icons are honestly perfectly fine to me. And then we'll go ahead and start the game up.
We came from the stars, the Sheridan, the right hand of Empress Elevus. Garen led the tattered remnants of our fleet here, ordered to find a new home. Yet this world has not been welcoming. Terrors in the oceans, scuttling horrors on the isles. We were tested, but never swayed from our task, even when we lost Garen herself. With Garen's courage and Garen's steel, I will rebuild the Kin anew. With the wisdom of the stars and the strength of the Chosen, we will fight to ensure that Sayada is not a staging post, but our true home.
We are the Sheridan, keepers of hospitality and folders of towels and leavers of little tiny soaps after you've paid what you owe to stay here. We, the Kin of Sheridan, have suffered on this world, seen our numbers decimated, and seen our original commander lost to its mysteries. Now, with our faith and our steel, we must rebuild anew and ensure Sayada is a home worthy of the Emperor. Good. The Emperor. He guides. He protects. We started out with a couple of characters right here. It says to take time to explore and choose a good location to found our first city. Okay, well, let's cruise around for a second and just kind of see where we end up. I do want to see, what is that thing right there? What is that? What is that? Is that the enemy? The Black Hammers Village, a tightly lit clan whose fiercely independent armors are determined to forge their own path in the world. So bring your army to this minor faction and you can interact with them. Okay, yeah, let's see what's further off in this direction. He's only got a couple of movement. I think, but we can try to, like, come over here and make friends. He's got a little group of legionaries with him right now that if he comes under attack, maybe we can protect ourselves. Right there, we've got insights, and so we can search for spoils of an old battle on that site right there. Probably give that a go. Let's figure out what founding's going to do for us right now. So in founding, it looks like this area is pretty... This over here doesn't look like it gives us any kind of bonuses or anything for being inside of it. Instead, I think we probably want to deploy to a spot where we're getting tangible bonuses for everything that we're trying to do as we expand outwards. Maybe I'll try and just build a city right here. Maybe that'll turn out okay. I'm just trying to get the game rolling as it stands right now. They do districts, and I don't know why this is so hot right now in 4X games, dude. It seems like, is it just me, or is it like for the last 3 or 4 years, every single 4X game is like really married to this idea of districts? It feels like every single one of them has been doing it. So they're essential to the city's development and specialization over time, and you have to build them on foundation tiles. Okay? And these guys right here are actually sentinels, so I kind of want them to come and catch up with my army over on this side, but maybe I'll leave them to hang out and guard the place, if nothing else. So it looks like based on the things that are on the ground, we can build different districts inside these areas. Since we're getting a bonus to food right here, I feel like maybe building a farm or something right at the beginning to maybe get our growth up. I don't know if it works like that here. I don't really play too many of these 4X style games. But it looks like to me we can't do a farm yet until we have a certain amount of technology researched. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to start off with a works district, which allows us to increase our industry, which I would guess is the same thing as hammers in Civilization. It like changes the rate at which we build buildings, and like it changes how fast we basically just erect stuff and expand. It'll make life a little bit easier. I don't know if it's going to tie back into our unit production or anything else like that, but it's never a bad idea in a 4X game to have a solid amount of production backing up your stats and making sure that everything's going to work the way that you want it to. We'll close that menu down real quick. How far out can I zoom out? Oh, you can zoom out pretty far, man. I like this desert right here. This desert gives us a big gap along our western border that like the enemy's got to cross it. This right here is a tactical advantage. That's what that's called right there. Attacking from the west. If it was a real-life type situation, forcing your enemy to cross a massive desert and deplete their supplies before they can come in for a siege would be a very, very nice boon to have. We also have a tech tree over here that we can play around with. I do want to get my farms built, so I'll probably go with an early research. I think it's recommending researches over here. So, oh no, we already have those. Gotcha. So they've got the border around them. We've already got them built. We could unlock a laboratory, which would make all of our concurrent, after this research, it would make all of our other researches go faster. We'd be giving up a little bit of city growth in the meantime, but maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll put this guy in right here, and we'll just kind of see how the whole thing flares up. Okay, that's going to be the end of my turn. We'll go ahead and pass it, and then I'll get out of this menu, and we are now officially on turn 2. You go grab the battlefield spoils. We got 20 science right there, which is actually big, because it looked like it was going to take about 24 science to get our science research done, and so that should actually bring us up to almost completion right there really quickly. With these guys right here, we can parlay. Might as well. You, Sheridan, come to knock on our door? I didn't think that I'd see the day. Well, they didn't have any offers after that. My only other option now is to, like, invade them and take them over. It'll destroy the village, but we'll probably get some kind of spoils out of it. It would also eliminate just, like, tricksy people being in our neighborhood who I don't want to have here. But can I just say, this has a really, really, really busy UI. Like, there is UI absolutely everywhere right now. It is a very, very obstructive UI when you're like looking at the city parts and everything else like that. These guys can move 5. Let's have them come back over here. We'll have them regroup with our main army. Maybe we'll combine those 2 stacks so that we have a consequential advantage in battle against that village, and then I'll probably run in there and raid them before too long. So our scientific charter is done. We now get better rewards from curiosities as well. It's recommending that I do voice of the masses. That'll give me a scribe inside of a forum. So that makes our influence, so like our cultural growth more than likely expand out further. Okay, I can live with that. Strength of Garen gives us defense on units, and if we have a keep, which is like a big castle defensive structure, We could also get extra industry out of that, which might be kind of nice. But for now, what does this do? Keystones? We get the market bridge and the defended bridge. Okay. Let's go with fencing for right now, because I like the idea of fencing, although fencing's going to take a hot minute. That's okay. I'll take fencing for right now so that we can start getting, because we've got a couple of plots right here that seem like they're going to be really good for growing food. And given the fact that we've got a desert around a big chunk of our territory, I think early game securing a food supply might have a little bit of wisdom inside of it. So let's go to turn 3. I do like how the turns are snappy, very snappy. And then maybe we'll attack these guys. If you attack this village, the ongoing pacification quest will fail. Do you wish to proceed? Actually, it looks like they gave me a dialogue inside of here when I interacted with them. So before we invade them, I found another little menu where it's got like our quests and our various points of interest and things like that we should be investigating to move towards victory. Let's play as dialogue. You, Sheridan, come to knock on our door. I didn't think that I would see the day. This is a long way for you to travel. These lands are not always safe for those who wander. Hear the silence, kin of Sheridan. It's not good, never so quiet since we left the kin camp. We listen for the sound of armor. Every one of us. I listen too, and I'm in no mood to talk. You fear approaching enemies? No, I fear that those who went out may not return. A scouting party left on my orders a dozen days ago with no news since. We can spare no one to search, and so we wait. If we looked for these missing scouts, perhaps you'd be more interested in talking? I'd be amenable. We're alone here, General Natalia Shaparenko, and the world is full of dangers we do not understand. Even a single absence hurts. Painful as it is to say, I believe they are gone forever. We're warriors. We sing the songs of steel and beat the drums of iron. Black hammers fight and win and come home. Those who attacked them may still be prowling these lands. Okay, let's begin the quest then. We can go out there, and I think I must have accidentally skipped that or something previously. Do we know exactly where I'm supposed to be looking for their leftover guys? It looks like they've got something going on over there. So let's start trucking in that direction, especially because they're already on top of my borders. This makes me feel a little bit nervous. I don't like enemies being that close when I don't have any kind of defenses around. End our turn right there, and then we'll come on over and we'll attack from out of our own territory. Big old chuggy right there, and we can go with a manual battle or we can go with an instant resolution. Let's run a manual battle because, like, with 4X games, battle doesn't tend to be the focus in games like this, and so we'll, like, it doesn't happen very often, so this may be one of our only opportunities in the first X amount of time to actually play around with the combat system. So you can move over to here. I would put them over there. And then I would say just to hold defense and get bonus defense. That sounds good to me. We'll go to our next idle unit, which is our Legionnaires, and we'll have them march up behind everybody else. They all seem to be animated reasonably well. Did the opponent not do anything? They didn't even, like, try to attack? Okay. And it looks like the enemy is held up way off in that corner back there. We're probably going to take a little bit of missile fire before we get there, but I suppose that that's life. Everybody start cutting your way over there about as rapidly as you can. It looks like maybe this is on top of a bluff, so it may be our best idea to kind of keep ourselves moving forward through whatever this is. Okay, they went over there and they fired their bows at us. So as much as I would like to, I think we're going to have to loop around the back end in order to make this whole thing work. Like, I think we're going to have to go in through this little thoroughfare because they've got, like, this little nook right here where that's not passable. And so that's a little bit annoying, but I think we'll be able to figure our way around it. So they're going to move up. They're going to fire at my hero. He's going to take a decent chunk of damage, actually. We're going to move down to here. And then we're going to open up with an attack with our Legionnaires. Looks like it's animated pretty well. Seems like it's got a good sense of impact and damage-dealing pain. You guys are going around the outside and down this way. I might have been able to move through there. I don't know. The movement feels a little bit wonky in the down and right direction. Like to the southeast, it feels like it doesn't want to stick a lot of the time and like send my guys in. Let's wipe out the bandits. Bandits are now officially done, and they've been taken care of, and we've won our first battle. We got some dust out of the exchange. Dust is like the currency of the entire Endless universe. It's sort of like spice, I guess, from Dune or whatever. Everybody wants it. Everybody wants to accumulate more of it, and they're willing to kill to get it. Alright, so battle's done, and we're back in our original position. So let's get ready to go back over here, and now that we've killed off the gutless bandits, are there more of them? Oh, there's more of them. So they've got a number of different camps around here that we're going to have to deal with. Okay, I can live with that, and it looks like we've got something we need to take care of on this side. 20 winters have passed since the mantle of leadership fell on General Shaparenko, yet she could remember no harder time. The devastation of the storms have scarred many kin, and the ensuing starfalls have stirred ancient memories of their own times traveling the heavens. Sermons are more evangelic, congregations greater, and canticles sung with unrecalled zeal. Garen's legend burns brighter than ever, with many kin desperate for their lost leader to return from the wilds and relight their path. For the leader of the kin, it is a testing time. Seneschal, I pray you disturb me for good reason. I have a lot on my mind. For good reason, yes, but my news is troubling. Spit it out, then. Prisia is missing. Slipped past the patrols. Another one determined to retrace the great Commander Garen's footsteps, no doubt. One of our most promising youths, but she's too impetuous. Do I hear a soft spot in your voice, General? We can search the mosaic halls with a hero to try to find her. All right, I'll throw that in there for now. We can bring these guys down here to get battle spoils. And so there's 30 dust right there that we weren't going to be able to pick up previously. But let's stay on this diplomatic quest as well. And then it looks like the hall thing that I need to search is going to be over there on the right. I do sort of like this narrative exposition, almost role-playing take that the game's moving for X in. I actually really like stuff like that. It pleases me. We got to end our turn now because there's not too much more for us to do. But let's go up here and see if we can throw down with some of these banditos, maybe. Yeah, we'll manual battle him. That's fine by me. It looks like he healed a lot too, so we should be all right. You guys fight from the forest. They've got forest cover, and last time we fought these guys, they were all archers, weren't they? Oh, no, they're way up there. Okay, so let's move everybody to the forest then. You put giant golden laser lines on my screen, and my eye is naturally drawn towards them. All right, everybody stay inside the woods. Keep yourself protected from being bombarded. It looks like they're actually running away. We may have to run them down with our riders. We've got a lot more movement than they do. All right, let's give full chase then. You go around the outside, but I don't even know if you're going to make it into combat. We'll just kind of follow up. Are they going to take the... That's what I thought they were going to do. It was a trap. They're going to take the forest tile for the cover. Then they're going to double back and attack us. You guys get in there. Can they not attack on a turn where they've moved? Decent little clash, but not exactly what I was looking for. You guys charge from that direction. There we go. Put some bodies on the board. Put some scalps on the belts, boys. They have infantry, which means they get damage versus ranged, and they can cross fortifications. And if they have friendly units nearby, it looks like they just generate armor. They've also got shield mastery, which further increases the amount of armor they're going to be getting out. Let's go ahead and run back over this way. I can attack from here, so we might as well soften them up to limit the amount of damage they're going to be able to do. I am liking the smoothness of the transitions in between, like, attack orders and the animation occurring. The game feels very buttery to play, like, super buttery. All right, so we've got them knocked out. You have done well. I can hear from your weapons whispers that the monsters who took our scouts have paid the price. Okay, we've gotten a reward, the Modeled Scythe. It gives 48 damage to a hero. It's a two-handed weapon and it increases their resilience. It also pacifies the Black Hammers, so I think we're actually friends with them now. Let's conclude their quest. We get our battle spoils now, so I'll acknowledge that. And if I wanted to equip a hero, how exactly do I do that? Alright, so my hero can't use the item that we picked up. He's a ranged weapons only is what it's looking like to me. So it would have been better if we had picked up some kind of armor or something for him to wear. But that'll be perfectly fine. God, pop-ups and UI everywhere, dude. Pop-ups and UIs everywhere. Let's close all that down. Now that we're friends with these guys, what can we actually do? So provided by city districts, we've got influence that gets stockpiled at the empire level. This resource is key for diplomacy with other empires. Okay, so it's just like a... It's like a currency, basically. I think I'd like to pick up another military unit. just in case. Our works is done in 2 turns, so it looks like everything queues up, so we can't be doing like simultaneous construction or anything, but we can build new districts outside of our base. I'm particularly interested in these 3 food tiles, if we can manage to snag those. But we don't have any movement left. We don't have any things going on. There are further civilizations over on that side that I can investigate and talk to, but for the moment, let's have these guys dive into the fog of war. What are these guys right here? What do you guys do? A convoy, huh? I can attack them. I don't know if it's a good idea, but I can. I guess I'll probably just leave them alone. It looks like they're just like centaur messengers that are like traveling in between areas. Our population went up, so that's nice. Did you just grab my treasure, you little bastards? Okay, maybe I should have murdered you. You touched the shiny. I find that to be unacceptable. A consortium. What's up with you guys? You guys got anything going on? Need something delivered? The consortium's got you covered. Things are finally getting back to normal around here. Not a minute too soon. I've got deliveries to make. I'm Fair Talius, boss of the consortium. They call me Mr. P. You need freight moved, a special package delivered, discreet communication? Perfect. That's us. We're all about business. Interesting skills, but we don't need couriers. Sure you do. Everybody does. Reliable delivery, no questions asked, except, well, we have a tiny issue. Shipment's running late, friend. That's like a necro tea party. Unthinkable. And if the goods don't show up, your reputation, don't say it, don't think it. I can't have it. You gotta help us out. Fix the situation. I personally guarantee you a permanent discount. Maybe we have business to discuss after all. Well, it'd be boring without business, but sometimes business gets ugly, like that shipment. Didn't hear it from me, but it's my cousin's syndicate, so why don't you just ask them nicely? Whoa, you didn't hear about my uncle and the apple harvest or what went on at my sister's wedding, friend? We don't talk anymore. So you send these jokers a very, very clear message. I'd be most appreciative. Okay. I suppose we can get down with that. Are those the guys that we're supposed to be sending very, very clear messages to? These ones are a little bit stronger than our last fight, but sure, let's manual battle them out and just kind of like see where they end up. In an ideal world, I'd like to be inside of the woods, and I would like them to be attacking me from like not inside the woods. I would like to have a defensive bonus, and I would like for them to have no bonus whatsoever. That would be the ideal way for this to play out. Unfortunately, they're dragging me away from my quest, which is kind of a bummer. I was trying to go to the right here on the map, but I guess we gotta do what we gotta do in order to isolate and get these boys. It does seem like they heavily prioritize fighting from inside the woods if they can help it. Go ahead and give them a charge from right there. Good stuff on the infantry line. Go ahead and give them a hit from right there. A little crashing, crushing charge. You pull up, and can you attack? Yeah, just put a little bit of damage on them, and they're now injured, so they should be dealing less damage, or something should be going. Yeah, they lose 10% of their damage per 35% health, so I think that'll work out. Their focus is broken too, but we just lost one of our riders. You guys, get in there, make it happen, Captain. Finish him off. Ooh, that did not finish him off. All right. Well, stay in tight group formation because we're getting loads and loads of armor for every single turn that we spend inside said formation. If you guys can move up and maybe soak some fire, that would be good. Maybe I'll have him move up to here. Can we land that? Get him with it then. If you can land it, make it happen. You charge up to there. Get a little bit more damage off just to lower their attack power bonus. They barely got through the armor right there. That's what I like to see. We'll drag over to there. Okay. And the enemy looks like they've caught all of these hands. Every last one of them. Huh, was I right? Of course I was right. They learned a little respect from my connections. I got my shipment back and got my reputation all nice and sparkly clean. Pleasure doing business with you. Consider yourselves part of the family. My cousin here is going to help you keep an eye on things. Okay. So we got a notable Eliara. Okay. Is that like a unit or like an item or what is that right there? Ooh, my hero leveled up. Sick, dude. Our hero has like a little fanned out skill tree over here that we can take a look at. So when a unit attacking adjacent to this friendly unit adds damage to adjacent friendly unit. Since he's an archer, he's almost always going to be in the back line adjacent to somebody. So I feel like that's pretty tempting. Yeah, it's probably what I'll go with right there. Let's go ahead and confirm it real fast. And it looks like this actually comes in like layers and stacks. So we can get, oh no, we can get 4 of these, then we go up to there. Okay. I thought I was going to be able to put in multiple times, but he's giving 15% damage to all of his adjacent allies now. So that's good. He's not really getting much bonus out of the strength, and so may not be a thing that was entirely for him, but I'm trying to move fast. Probably was a bad pick because our character doesn't specialize in strength, but we'll leave it alone for right now and end the turn until our research is done. Are you guys going to move? I was going to say, I need you guys to, like, move. I'm trying to go in this direction. You guys aren't making it easy. Research is done. Is it? Or does it still have one more turn? One more turn. All right. How healed up are you guys? Oh, they heal really rapidly. Well, that's good to know. What's up with this place? We got 1 movement left. We might as well go in. Deep in the ancient ruins, the search party finds Prisia, badly injured and trespassing far from home. Shaparenko decides to let her rest. They will speak in the morning. You're lucky we found you, Prisia. In winters past, the necrophage has swarmed out of the depths of these ruins. You pay a lot for this obsession with Garen, don't you? And I am happy to pay. Someone must seek the truth after all. You have the best interests of the kin at heart, and that's commendable. We all want to learn the truth, Prisia, but your methods are disrespectful, not to mention dangerous. I saw someone. What? Across the ruins. It might have been Garen. I would have followed, but I fell. Maybe that was fortunate. Whoever you saw, I'd stake my life that it wasn't Garen, and whoever it was might not have taken too kindly to you trailing them. Now, we need to get back to rest. Yes, Lieutenant Bresvis? General, our scouts have sighted necrophage in the vicinity. We must have disturbed a nest. All right, kin to arms. Let's see them off. Okay, well, I mean, we get 75 influence for it, which should allow me to buy a new tile and, like, get stronger. They're over there. I think we're all out of moves for this turn, but that's okay. Our farm is now done, and so that should be good. So we can start building up farms on these little corners on this side to make things go faster. How's my production looking when it comes to creating units and whatnot? So it takes 100 to make a unit. We're getting 17 per turn, so 6 turns to spit this guy out. Versus if I wanted to build a farm over here, that's 106. So we're once again looking basically at like 7 turns. Okay. We'll get it started then. And then we need to pick a new technology. This time around, I will more than likely go with whatever gives me more influence. Doesn't look like there's much that generates influence, but we can unlock a forum. I don't know what a forum's going to do for me, but we can unlock it. What does the forum do? Ah, it lets us generate influence. Okay, so that's exactly what I was looking for. That way I can buy new tiles and expand my domain. Especially when considering it's like 108 for each expansion, so it's going to be a minute before we're allowed to do that. What's up with you guys over here? You guys, are you... Oh, no, you've got 4 movement. Okay, move into the forest, and we'll see if we can deal with the necros over here. We've got 289, they've got 197. Let's full send it. And so it looks like there's some kind of space bugs, or like Zerg or something. Yeah, there's some kind of like wasps or like space cicadas. Okay. Can you guys get to here? If you can, I'd appreciate it. If you guys can get to there, that'd be good. You come up from behind. If you can land a shot right there, land a shot right there. Getting the first hit off. Always good to establish a little bit of dominance. Oh, wow, they hurt. Okay, they're all over the place. Let's go infantry on the bugs over here. We'll go cavalry on the bugs right here. The bugs are now injured. I don't know if I want to send that their way or if I just... Let's finish that one right there. That way we've got less to focus on. So Bug's going to come in, attack the hero. That's fine. I don't know what that cleaving attack was they did last turn, but that one was nasty. You go ahead and soak the hit with your armor. Fire at them. Infantry come down. Good stuff. Finish the engagement. They're still not dead. These guys have the strongest chin on them that we've seen so far. It looks like they've got... Oh, they've got flying, so they can ignore battle lines. Okay. Well, let's take them down, because 75 influence is nothing to turn our nose up at. And the enemy's slain, still as menacing as the days I set eyes on them, though. This world is a death trap. Okay. General, our chosen units are close to full readiness. Meanwhile, I recommend we get as many hands on deck as we can muster. Raise up the settlements for whatever's coming. Exactly. Emperor Zelivus would be proud. See that it happens. Okay, so have 3 populations as artisans in Garen's Rest for 1 turn, and it will unlock the Chosen, which looks like a giant robot killing machine. Okay, giant robot killing machines I think are always infinitely appealing, so I'd be down for getting that. We got 40 dust from right there, so our dust supply is going pretty well right now. No movement left, so he's just going to sit over there. And it looks like we do have a menu on our town right now where we've got like counselors basically in the different aspects of life. So citizens, it focuses on making money and it focuses on making food. We've got artisans, which will increase the amount of hammers we get and also the amount of money we make. But it looks like we're actually going to be losing approval rating the more we stack up over here. Is that what happens? Or does it just stay -3? It does. And so if we overinvest inside of these things without the technology to override them with daily ticks of approval increases, it is going to get us into trouble. I've got 3 turns left until our warriors come out. It looks like buildings and units can be built simultaneously, so that's nice. With these guys over here, what other quest stubs and things do we have going on? So if I need 3 artisans inside the city, which is like really the only quest that I have left, I need to figure out a way to get another artisan. So I think we're just going to have to wait for our city to grow. The good news is, once the farm is done building, that should accelerate things pretty aggressively. It looks like it gets a bonus for rivers and lakes. I don't think that's a lake right there. I hope it's a lake, but it looks like an ocean. So I don't think that that's really going to help me in the way that I think it's going to help me. But we can still start bringing these guys home, or at least having them meet up with other factions and do diplomacy. Oh, he's got another level up. Hell yeah. Let's go back to his profile. So on his skill tree, it looks like he's got a healing arrow. Let's try that out and actually get like a special ability that's going to make this work a little bit better. We didn't get like a stat increase or anything for it, but we are able to fire a healing arrow now on our other units, and it should repair them for like 20 or 30. It looks like we can assign the Black Hammers to be our protectorate as well, and so it'll unlock a notable slim, I guess. We get +5 approval per pacified village under protectorate on keeps districts. Yeah, sure, send it. We just made a whole bunch of influence, so we might as well assimilate these guys into our culture. It looks like in the end we end up with a number of different slots, and all of these different cultures are going to give us some kind of different bonus for being under our umbrella and becoming our friends, basically. And if not our friends, at least people that are under our control. Let's go back to town real quick and see if that helps us heal. We do have a new unit over here as well. We'll have them just kind of wait in that district on the side. That is going to take an overall effect on both our food production and on our overall dust. Oh, it gave me a whole bunch of population for that. Okay, I see what's happening here. You guys come in on this side because that fulfills one of our quests for like 1 turn, but contentment is going to be a little bit of a problem, so we've got to kind of see to that. I can even out our food on the next turn. It'll be okay. You guys just hang tight where you're at for right now. I'll skip that notification, and then we'll just wait. The noise of industry and commerce rise from Garen's Rest's main thoroughfare. Beyond, banners flutter in the breeze and mouth-watering smells drift from cooking pits. The city thrives, yet some of the kin wear faces grim as thunder. They're angry, not with you, but with Presia. Word travels fast. They know of her defilement. Some are too zealous, I fear. We'll need to keep her out of the way while she recovers. Okay, well, we got a new unit, so that's nice. I'll take that. Among the most faithful, spurred on by the church, there are calls for the resurrection of the Great Search, expeditions that sought to find the missing commander all those years ago. Strange forces are afoot in our lands, yet all anybody talks about is our savior Garen. They're afraid, and Garen gives them hope. And I don't. Our Messiah must have been quite the leader. I wish I'd been old enough to remember her. She was. The tales are embellished, but not ridiculously so. Siata already strengthened her when she walked into the wilds, and so we're to ignore our fragile state and marshal the efforts into finding her again? How will we make this our true home if we're always waiting on her return? That I don't know. What I do know is that most kin see her as the savior. If she were to be found, then our problems would be solved. The burdens of leadership. The truth is, our resources are stretched thin. We can't both search for Garen and build settlements. Okay. I don't know if I want to like dedicate myself entirely to finding a leader that's going to usurp me. That seems like a bad idea just historically. So I'm going to focus on making myself more awesome and more solidified as a leader. Garen is a lost cause. We would ignore our settlements at our folly. What do you suggest? I believe Lieutenant Brezvez has some ideas, and I'll fetch him. Happy to hear our focus on the present situation, General Shaparenko. Commander Garen should stay in the past. Anyways, I believe it's time we flex some kin muscle. Meaning? Meaning we should bolster our chosen forces. Seata is changing. Our settlements are vulnerable without adequate protection, and the chosen can fill that role. Okay, sounds good. Thus far, it's pretty impressive. It's a good-looking game that runs really smoothly, like the seamless nature of how everything just flows in between combat and also being in the building gameplay. Everything feels really nice to play here. It all seems to be pretty well animated and good-looking while you're going on through. I like some of the systems that they're kind of introducing us to as well, like we need to assign all of our different citizens to different types of production in order to survive. I don't want to make a unit right now. Go away. Stop it, tutorial. Stop that right now. But everything feels pretty good here. I also, just me personally, because I like RPGs, I really like that they're taking this in a role-playing direction, basically, and making it so that there's a storyline that unfolds naturally each time you play the game based on the factions and whatnot that you interact with. On top of that, from the preview video that they showed, these oceans are going to shift around. Apparently, the tide goes up and down, or I guess down as the game goes along, which uncovers new barbarians, new factions, new treasures, new ruins, and things like that. So that, you know how in Civ, if you're playing, let's say, Civ 4 or Civ 5, for example, after like the first hour of the game, most of the barbarians are dead, most of the treasure is gone, most of the points of interest and most of the good resources are gone. I think that's actually a really good idea, having the seas recede and the landmass gets larger as the game goes along and uncovers new resources, because in a multiplayer setting or just in a single-player setting, it opens up new resources. It opens up new opportunities to get big packs of research or big packs of food in order to, you know, solidify a shortcoming that you might have inside of your planning. It creates a mad dash for that new territory that gets people interacting with each other. And those unique interactions, I think, are what's going to make a game like this really stick and become replayable. And so far, I'm happy with it. I had fun during the time that we spent here today. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, we are running out of food, and I have poorly managed my settlement. That much is to be sure. However, as it sits right now, I think we're in a decent spot. I would like to generate a little bit more influence, though, but I'm getting sucked into the game. Probably a good sign. I'll see y'all later. Thank you for stopping on in, and that's about all I got for you, folks. Bye.